Hello, everyone. Welcome to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change 2020. As guest countries, we have Mexico, Australia, Japan, England, and us, Canada. Then, the representatives of each country will give a brief introduction about their projects, and the space will be open to debate and argue in favor of their proposals. Uh, then Japan will present its
Yes, the environmental issue is approached from the Japanese perspective, a country that has faced difficult environmental situations, but is currently now as a country capable of establishing sustainable strategies for the present and future of the world population.
Speaking of strategies, what are the strategies that your country is going to take?
The strategies are number one, reduce the burning of coal and the construction of the thermonuclear plants. And the number two is improve air quality by purifying the burning of coal. And number three, change for another type of clean energy that is friendly to the environment.
Thank you, Japan. Someone has another question? Okay, thank you. Mexico, can you present your project, please?
Okay, thank you. Mexico agreed to highlight the action in the climate fight, but always collecting measures that guarantee the well-being of the current and intergenerational population. In this same effort, we propose the adherence to policies as an initiative to include environmental education in the national legal framework. If only we had acted before, this problem wouldn't be so strong. However, it is our duty to act now, and this forum is a faithful guarantor of our commitment to the environment.
What are the benefits of your program?
Okay, well, the National Emissions Trading System, or ETS, is a key instrument for the promotion of low carbon development as it creates a framework that is reliable and flexible to reduce greenhouse gases. It is based on the principle of cap and trade. This consists of establishing a maximum ceiling of the total emissions of one or more sectors of the economy that must be reduced each year. Through this instrument, the government of Mexico calls for the active participation of the industry in the promotion of sustainable development and the creation of more high-quality jobs. In relation to the benefits, the ETS encourages technological innovation and efficient energy use in companies, strengthening their competitiveness. Another benefit is that this instrument can also be used to encourage GHG reductions in unregulated sectors such as forestry and agriculture. However, it should not be forgotten that the main objective of this system is to reduce emissions.
What are the objectives of your project?
Okay, well, this program will begin in January 1st, 2020, laying the foundations for the formal establishment of an ETS that contributes to the fulfillment of the country's climate goals and, and that promotes Mexico's sustainable development. The contribution goal committed by Mexico for the year 2030 is to reduce the greenhouse gas emissions by 22% with respect to a baseline, increasing this reduction to 36% conditional on international support and financing. And if all goes well, the results will be visible to the population in due time and form, putting the name and commitment of Mexico to international trade on high.
Okay, another question? No? Okay. Now I'm gonna expose my project. As everyone knows, Canada is suffering the effects of global warming twice as fast as the rest of the world. So this year, We want to promote the reduction of plastic consumption and reduce environmental pollution by these means in order to attack climate change through these actions. Some questions?
And how can we contribute to Zero Plastic Wasted project?
Okay, well, we hope that the countries present at this convention join the Zero Plastic Waste project. And answering your question, if your governments join, you can take actions to reduce plastic pollution and raising awareness in your population. We hope that, like us, you install nets that block the entry of plastic waste into the sewers in your main cities. This in order to avoid water pollution, avoid the microplastic cycle, in addition to promoting the use of other types of products independent of plastic.
And what do you mean with microplastic?
Thank you. Uh, Good question. Microplastics or plastic microspheres are small synthetic particles derived from household plastic, petroleum, or even household products. It is characterized by having a size of less than 5 millimeters in diameter, which can be imperceptible to the human eye. Generally, these end up in the seas and are consumed by fish and marine life as food. Fish that possibly die from this and fish that do not die on a large number of occasions are caught and used for human consumption, turning them into contaminated food that ends up inside our bodies and causing serious health problems such as cancer. Another question? Thank you. Australia, can you expose your project, please?
Okay. Australia's contribution to avoid further polluting is to produce green hydrogen with CO2-free green hydrogen producing, taking advantage of natural resources in a sustainable and renewable way, which will help the government to achieve net zero CO2 emissions by 2050.
Okay, thank you. Some questions for Australia?
Yes. Based on your proposal, what are the specific objectives of your project?
Some of the objectives are to boost the industry and position it as an important producer, use an exporter of renewable hydrogen, taking advantage of hydrogen technology. Fertilizers will be produced, and if the case of long distance, heavy basic transport and stationary electricity producing remote power systems will be produced. Another question.
Yes. And what would be the benefits of your project?
If hydrogen were used, the benefits will be that Western Australian market share in global hydrogen and exports in similar its current share in LNH, reduce CO2 emissions, use it as a fuel alternative, develop local industry and become a leader in the world transition of renewable or green hydrogen. Another question? That's all.
Thank you so much, Australia. United Kingdom, can you expose your project, please?
Thank you very much. Good evening. Since the first decade of the century, the government of the United Kingdom has tried to reduce its carbon footprint to a zero net production to 2050. Our Prime Minister Boris Johnson has proposed a 10-point Green Revolution plan that consists on the investment of over £12 billion to reduce the waste of carbon dioxide, methane, and petrol in the country.
What do you expect in relation to your project in this forum?
Thank you for the question. Boris Johnson has mentioned the purpose of this plan to promote the ecological environments in the world at the next COP reunion in 2021. In this plan, the objectives are creating over 205,000 jobs to support and help the antique industrial heart of the country. The United Kingdom is very aware that it is the producer of the 2% global carbon dioxide emissions and would rather to keep working on the investment of new technologies that can use the carbon, nuclear, and petrol energies in a greener way.
Okay.
Any other question?
I have another question for you. Which activities added to the last mentioned are proposed to keep this net zero carbon dioxide emissions goal?
Thank you so much. Many activities will be held to successfully conclude this 10-point program. The community will be a huge member of this plan, helping the faster sale of non-electric vehicles and the buying of hybrid and electric vehicles. £1.2 billion will be distributed in the whole kingdom to the building of electric vehicle charging points. It is planned to create the first hydrogen town created by the good saving of hydrogen resources in the whole country. And finally, £5 million will be used on the construction of solar panels and wind turbines. This to the reduction of the 2% carbon dioxide footprint that annually the United Kingdom produces.